Well, good afternoon, Fastball fans, and welcome to the 2024 ISC World Tournament here at Softball City in beautiful Surrey, British Columbia. Blair Setford with you solo on this one. The Ohio Bombers out on the field taking on the STK Fastball team out of Chase, British Columbia. Just a few hundred kilometers up the road from Surrey, up into northern BC. There you see beautiful Softball City, where we will be for the week for the 78th annual ISC World Tournament. We've got one down and another one just about to get started. Again, the Ohio Bombers out on the field taking on the STK Fastball squad. Leading things off for STK, it's Leo Munoz. He'll be followed by Brandon Parsons, then Brett Larson, Jessen Potskins, Eli Jules, Jared Bradbury, Alejandro Villalobos, Benny Anthony, and Brock Evans in the 9 spot for STK. Defensively for the Ohio Bombers, left to right, Delmore Martins in left. In center field, George Harris, and right is Lucas Kubat. And then around the horn defensively, Jakob Heine is over at third base. At shortstop, it's Calder Rogi. And his first pitch is fouled off by Leo Munoz. At second, it's Ender Chaparro. Over at first base, it's Elton Martin. And on the board, it's Eric Chaparro pitching to the catcher, Carlos Truba, for the Ohio Bombers. An international squad out there for the Bombers. You've got Argentina, some Venezuela, the US of A, and Czechia represented out there for the Ohio Bombers. From Bainbridge, Ohio. We'll just get this ball to come in from left field. We'll get that back over to Eric Chaparro. STK, this is their inaugural season here in the ISC World Tournament. They played a good tournament schedule this year. They were in a number of events here in British Columbia and made it out to Ontario for the Chiefs Challenge in Simcoe back at the end of June. And they've got some good pitching with Steve Normand and Juan Jose Pepe from Argentina. And they've got some guys that can hit the ball, and Leo Munoz is as flashy as anybody over at second base. Chaparro takes a big leap off the board, and a changeup there, and that is pushed out to left field for a leadoff single by Leo Munoz. Kept the hands back and able to get the barrel of the bat through the zone. Kept it behind the hands and flares that out to left. So a leadoff single for STK gets them on the board. A breeze here is blowing out to center field, pretty much directly from in behind the home plate area. Turns and squares and pulls back, but gets a strike, does Brandon Parsons. So electing to go early with the small ball, our STK. Turns and squares again, offers at it, but can't get it down. Opening day here at the ISC World Tournament. The 1 p.m. game ended a little bit early. This one goes to the screen, and up to second base goes Munoz uncontested. Wild pitch. Oma Tigre, 10-3 winners over the Prince George River Kings. Tigres pushed 3 across in the bottom of the 6th inning to extend a 7-3 lead to the 10-3 run rule finish. After a scoreless first, the Tigre scored in every inning. Very impressive debut here in the 2024 World Tournament for the Tigre, coming off a great run at the U.S. Nationals last week. That one is just punch foul down the left side, showing that they haven't lost any of their offensive prowess. That game was close for about 4 innings, but then the Tigre pulled away in the 5th and the 6th. Chaparro, a long look in. Took something off that one, and out in front of it is Brandon Parsons. And can't catch up to the rise ball. First strikeout of the game for Eric Chaparro. And that'll bring up Brett Larson, the catcher for STK. Brett's done some time with Team Canada in the pool. And a changeup from Chaparro, misses down. Eric was the most valuable pitcher in the ISC 2 tournament back in 2017 with the Page Break team out of Salt Lake City, Utah. Big cut, comes up empty. So he's been on the scene for a number of years, and he throws very well. He keeps teams in games, and that's really what you can ask out of just about any pitcher. They don't need to win it by themselves. Just keep your team in the game. And that's all you can ask. The other game that's active right now, Walton Brewers are leading 3-0 in the top of the 7th inning on the Surrey Rebels. And Richmond Rays, a young U23 team playing here in the ISC World Tournament, they're up big already on the Westside Jacks, 7-1. That game is just in the bottom of the 2nd inning. So Richmond Rays brought the hitting shoes today. One misses downstairs and gets lost in the feet of the catcher for Ohio, Carlos Truba. And up to third base alertly goes Aleo Munoz, who runs the bases very well. Called strike 3. Brett Larson can't pull the trigger. Second strikeout of the inning for Eric Chaparro. Justin Potskin, the cleanup batter for STK. One of many fastball playing Potskins. Legendary family from northern BC. There were 7 Potskins on the lineup card in the Prince George River Kings game. Just finished. Chaparro looking for that call low on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Took something off of that one and pulled foul down the right side. You see that tent down at the end of right field. That's where we'll be having the ISC Hall of Fame breakfast and induction ceremony tomorrow morning. We'll talk more about that as our afternoon carries on, but we've got a wonderful ceremony and a terrific class for the 2024 Hall of Fame induction ceremony. That's foul down the left side as Potskian is wearing out the fielders, chasing all these foul balls down. This facility here at Softball City is just a tremendous 4-diamond wagon wheel type softball facility, purpose-built. They host tournaments here all year long. I want to say thank you to Joe Todd for bringing some water. Called strike 3. Chaparro gives up the leadoff single, strikes out the side. We'll go to the bottom half of the first inning. Ohio Bombers coming up. Stay with us here on the ISC Network. Well hit, deep right field. It's curving. This one, well hit to deep right field this time, and that one is gone. Trying to put it away is Jack Besgrove. The New York Gremlins are world champions.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Start spreading the news, Joe Todd. It's New York, New York. We'll go to the bottom of the first inning for the Ohio Bombers. Set to lead things off. It'll be Calder Rogie, followed by Ender Chaparro, George Harris, Jakob Heine, Eric Chaparro, the pitcher in the 5 spot, Delmar Martin, Carlos Truba, then Loreno Martinez, Lucas Kubat backs 9th for the Ohio Bombers. Defensively for the STK squad, left to right across your outfield, Alejandro Villalobos, Brandon Parsons, Aleo Munoz is in right field. First pitch, thinking about a bunt, and yes, he did go around. Jared Bradbury's at third, Jessen Potskin at short. Brock Evans is at second. Eli Jules is at first for STK. Steve Normand is out on the board, the hard-throwing right-hander from Alberta. And he just misses upstairs. Brett Larson, also from Alberta. The battery mates coming to this squad by way of the Irma Tigers. And most recently, the Grand Prairie Pride. Showing my age, it's the Grand Prairie Pirates. Our umpires for this afternoon, and this one behind the plate, Yuri Dostal from Czechia in his first ISC World Tournament. And that one is flared out of play down the right side. Kevin D. Domenico from Hamilton, Ontario, also in his first ISC World Tournament. And Steve Gallagher from Cobourg, Ontario. So in addition to the Oma Tigre game, 10-3 winners over Prince George. Walton Brewers win 3-0 over the Surrey Rebels. That's now a final. And we mentioned Richmond Rays are up on the Westside Jacks. So Calder Rogie does what his counterpart did and leads off with a single. And that'll bring up Ender Chaparro, not Eric. Eric, of course, will be batting 5th. Bunt attempt, but that goes foul. Both these teams playing some small ball early here. Just misses off the outside corner. Steve Normand, a long look in after that one. And bunts this one again, foul. Ender Chaparro can't get the ball down. So some good old-fashioned small ball early. If Joe Todd was here, he would be cheering that they're bunting early in the game, trying to move the runner along. Joe will be back with you for the 6 o'clock game with Peter Labardius. That one, Georgian Bay Giants and the Grand Prairie Pirates. This one is lifted up in the air, short left. Coming on to make the play is Alejandro Villalobos. We'll reel that one in. We'll bring up George Harris from Czechia. One of many Czechs here in the tournament. Chases that rise ball up and out of the zone. That's the bread and butter for Steve Normand, the big rise ball. Just misses off the outside corner. Steve likes to work quick. He'll do a little bit of landscaping here, but he'll be right back to the board. And that one misses on the inside corner. And just struggling to find the zone a bit right now is Steve Normand. He'll go for a bit of a walk in behind the board, and take a couple of extra seconds to reset. Falling behind 3-1 to George Harris. And make it 3-2 after that foul ball out of play, and that clanks off the third base dugout over on diamond 2. And ball 4 up and in, so a one-out walk to George Harris. And a little spot of trouble here for Steve Normand in the bottom of the first inning. Couple runners aboard. Jakob Heine to the plate. Another player from Czechia. The Czechs had what I think by their standards would be a disappointing WBSC regional qualifier in Mexico earlier this year. Don't think we'll be seeing them in Prince George at next year's World Cup final. Some outstanding pitching on the Czech squad. Didn't get the hitting that they were looking for this time around. Heine swings over the top of that. Good drop from Steve Normand. That one misses inside, and still struggling to find the range with consistency right here is Normand. He blows that one right by Heine. Two balls, two strikes. Pair of runners aboard. Just one down here in the bottom of the first inning. Ohio Bombers at the plate. If you're just getting in with us on the ISC network, it's Blair Setford flying solo for this one. We'll see if we can bring in a guest or two. This one is lifted way up in the air to left field. Villalobos will camp under that and take a couple of strides to his left at the last second to gather that in for the second out. And that'll bring up pitcher Eric Chaparro, trying to help himself here and score one or more of these base runners that are on board for him. Upstairs, ball one. And a called strike. Little change of pace from Steve Normand just on that outside corner. Can't find the inside corner with that one. And Normand here in danger of loading the bases. 3-1 to his counterpart, Eric Chaparro. Swings at the changeup in the eyes. That's a great pitch from Normand. Got away with leaving it up, but chasing goes Chaparro. Little flare right in front of the bag at second, and they'll tag out George Harris. Justin Potskin with the play. The Bombers will leave the bases loaded in the bottom of the first inning. We're scoreless through one complete. Just getting underway here. Our second game of the day on the opener here at ISC World Tournament 2024. How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business. How confident are you?
He came from Australia with a superstar pedigree. And from his first ISC in 2003, he knew he was going to be something special. 6 times All-World, a 3-time ISC champion, and now the first Aussie inducted into the ISC Hall of Fame. From counting materials and the farm in Wisconsin, to Kitchener, to finding a home in the New York Gremlins colours. Congratulations, Jeff Goolagong, from all of us.
Top half of the second inning here. STK coming back up to the plate. Eli Jules, Jared Bradbury, and Alejandro Villalobos for STK. I said bases loaded in the bottom of the first inning. There was only 2 runners aboard with that force out to end the inning. A good drop over the top is Eli Jules. And Chaparro quickly out in front, 0-2. And good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Eli Jules, 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and the first out of the inning. The 4th strikeout already of the game for Eric Chaparro. Jared Bradbury steps in. Eric Chaparro not wasting any time, getting right ahead of Bradbury, opening him up with a strike. A lot of fans down the right side of the grandstand for the BC team. STK from Chase, British Columbia. Inspired scheduling by our VP World Tournament, Rich Haldane. Looked after the World Tournament scheduling this year. Did a great job making sure we've got some home content for Saturday, along with a great closing game. Ostrander and the Sydney Tropics from Sydney, Australia. They've made the trip halfway around the world to play in the ISC World Tournament. They played a whole bunch of games here at Softball City earlier in the week against a number of the lower mainland teams from that league and in the greater Vancouver area. Played half a dozen games. I was talking with Amanda Leitch, amongst others, from the Sydney squad, and they're having a great time already and really looking forward to their opening game tonight, and the fact that it's on the ISC network, and it will be Sunday midday in Sydney, and we're expecting a great audience from the Sydney area and surrounding area for that one. Fastball, of course, big in Australia. They own 2 of the 3 WBSC World Cups, the U23 as well as the men's. And Jack Besgrove largely responsible for both of those. And we'll see Jack tomorrow for the New York Gremlins. Called strike 3 on that outside corner. Eric Chaparro continues to pile up the strikeouts. That's 5 in a row now for the hard-throwing right-hander. Alejandro Villalobos now to the plate. And a good drop. Swings over the top. Villalobos spent a couple of years with the AHI Reapers out of Kimberly, Wisconsin. Moved out here to play along with Aleo Munoz, a couple of Argentina players. And Eric Chaparro is dialed in right now. He is pouring in strikes. It gets the side again here in the second. 6 up. Well, 6 strikeouts anyway. 6 outs, 6 strikeouts for Eric Chaparro. He's got it going on right now. He looks real good for this Ohio Bombers squad. Steve Normand back out, coming out for STK. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Bombers coming back up to the plate.
HRD Bat Co. owners Nick Shales and Trevor Oakes want to bring the best quality bats to baseball players all over the world. Our pro-grade wood combined with our finish process makes them some of the hardest bats with the biggest pop in the game. Customization is our specialty. We offer a variety of handcrafted models and unlimited design. Visit us at hrdbatco.com. Play hard, swing hard.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjack Sports. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca.
Six, 7, and 8 for the Ohio Bombers in the bottom of the second inning. Delmar Martin, Carlos Truba, and Loreno Martinez, the designated player for the Bombers. Normand ahead 0-2. And called strike 3, Delmar Martin. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. A bit of a change-up for Normand upstairs. Gets a called strike there, does Steve Normand. But a good AB by Trouba to work the walk. Big cut comes up empty, does Loreno Martinez. Designated player for Ohio Bombers. Lucas Kubat on deck in the 9 spot. Chase is way upstairs. And it manages to lay off of that one. But rears back and blows it right by Loreno Martinez. Steven Herman, just good old country hardball right there. Here, hit it if you can. And Martinez not able to catch up with that one. Picks up his second strikeout of the game and of the inning. Lucas Kubat from Czechia chases after that one. Gets the bunt down, that stays fair. It's going to roll all the way down to the bag. Lucas Kubat, just like he drew a trail for that one, had fallen him all the way down to first, and he's aboard with a bunt single and a good one. Watch how this just trails all the way down the line. They let it go. I mean, it's really the only play that they had down there at first. It's not a bad idea by Eli Jules. Just follows it all the way down. And that's new here this year is our multi-camera replay. Luciano Lafrano continues to up the game and replay from multi-camera angles this year. Great stuff from Softball Premier. Always a pleasure with Luciano. Carol Doreste on our action camera. So back to the top of the shop, Calder Rogie, who singled and got as far as second. That was just an inning ago, as they're already back to the top of the shop here in the second inning. Ohio Bombers looking for a key base hit here to score a couple runs. They've had 2 runners aboard in the first and now the second, but just need to follow through with that key base hit. A chop foul by Rogie. Chopper on the infield, digs it out of the glove for the final out. Jared Bradbury had to take a second grip but not a problem to throw out Calder Rogie. They escape a little jam again. STK playing with fire here. The Bombers can't push anything across in the home half. We're still scoreless through 2 complete. STK coming back up to the plate.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs. Find us on the web at absolutebusinesssupply.ca and let us get it for you.
Benny Anthony, Brock Evans, and then back to the top of the shop for Aleo Munoz for STK. Aleo Munoz, the only guy to really get a bat on the ball for STK. Eric Chaparro is working on 6 straight strikeouts here. Anthony looks at a strike on that outside corner. Chaparro has been working quick and effectively. Chases after the rise ball, and that goes in and out of the glove of the catcher, Trouba. Poke foul. Well, make it 7 in a row for Eric Chaparro. Down goes Benny Anthony. And it is all Eric Chaparro all the time right now for the Ohio Bombers. No answers here from the STK squad aside from Aleo Munoz, that leadoff single. Brock Evans will try his luck here, the 9 batter. He fouls off that first pitch offering. A little change up from Chaparro. Westside Jacks making a bit of a comeback in their game with the Richmond Rays. That's now 8-4 for Richmond. Richmond not too far from where we are in Surrey, another suburb of downtown Vancouver in the greater Vancouver area. And 4 o'clock game just underway. Pukeist Heat. They're up 1-0 on the Steveston Canadians. That's an all-BC matchup. Brock Evans down on strike. Make it 8 in a row for Eric Chaparro. And we'll see if Aleo Munoz can put an end to this Chaparro streak right now. He singled leading off the first, but that has absolutely been it for the STK squad. Coming up at 6 o'clock, Peter Labardius, Joe Todd will bring you the Georgian Bay Giants and Grand Prairie Pirates. And then 8 o'clock, our nightcap tonight, Ostrander Norsemen from Lake Crystal in Minnesota. They'll be taking on the Sydney, Australia Tropics. And this Sydney team, they could upset a few teams here this week. They've got some really good pitching, some Australia national team players and guys who are almost on the Australia national team. That is going to be a team to watch here this week. Chaparro just misses inside to Aleo Munoz. 3-1. Run it up to 3-2. And we'll see who's going to win this one here, Munoz or Chaparro. Can we keep this run of strikeouts? Can we get to 9? Or can Munoz break this streak? He's the only guy that hasn't fallen victim to it so far. Fouls this one off and stays alive. Just a bit more than a hint of a breeze that's blowing out to center right. Chopper on the infield. Ender Chaparro will turn and flip to first for the final out. We don't get to 9 straight strikeouts, but we've got 9 straight outs. Nonetheless, Eric Chaparro doing the job for the Ohio Bombers. They'll come up in the home half of the third, looking to break the goose egg. Stay with us here on the ISC Network.
The annual Boys of Summer Tournament is held every July at the Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill in the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer Tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at deankane16@gmail.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
Dreamcatcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community.
Okay. 2-3-4 for the Ohio Bombers. Ender Chaparro, George Harris, Jacob Heine. That one upstairs from Steve Normand, and you heard Brett Larson turn and ask ball, the new boom mic that we've got in play, another one of the toys that Luciano Lafrano has brought here this week just to help enhance the production values here on the ISC network. And what a great job Luciano has done all season long with ISC Fast Pitch. The Gremlins Network, starting with ISC Canada East and the Chiefs Challenge up here in North America. Been a busy summer for Luciano and for Carol Dreste. Of course, they were here in BC for the Canada Cup. This one is fouled up and out of play, and oh, almost a barehanded catch by one of the fans over at the top of that left side grandstand, but in and out of the bare hand. So Ender Chaparro stays alive at the plate here. Bottom of the third inning, Ohio Bombers scoreless with the STK Fastball squad from northern BC. Ohio from Bainbridge, Ohio. You can follow along with the tournament, the whole tournament, and get all of the game scores on Game Changer. We've made all of our tournaments, all three of them, the World Tournament, ISC2, and the Legends Tournament, fully accessible. That's a fair ball and a great play down there at third base by Jared Bradbury. Came up with it and fired a seed over to first base to get the speedy Ender Chaparro. Good job by Jared Bradbury. He was the ISC2 newcomer with the Waterdown Hammer back in 2019. He's been here in the ISC since then. That one is up and out of play. George Harris looks at a strike up in the zone to but that one is chopped foul, so it's still 0-2. Harris staying alive in the box, still 0-2 on the three-batter for the Ohio Bombers. And then chases upstairs, and he'll not be thrilled with himself for chasing that pitch over his eyes for strike three. Talked about the rise ball from Steve Normand. You see it here, and just explodes up at the end of the zone. Can't catch up to that big pitch. Jacob Heine now to the plate. Want to say hello to Jacob Kopriva over in Czechia. Was emailing with Jacob a couple of days ago, and they've got so many Czech players here in the ISC that they don't know who to root for these days. They've got guys up and down lineups all through the ISC, and that's just a testament to the Czech program and how it's developed over the years. And their guys coming over here to play in North America enhances the program and complements what they do with the league based in Prague, or based out of Prague. Of course, hosted a very memorable 2019 World Cup. Straight back to the screen by Heine. Two down in the inning, a real good defensive gem from Jared Bradbury. Got leadoff batter Ender Chaparro. George Harris chased the pitch out of the zone, as does Jakob Heine. That one down and in. A real good pitch again from Steve Normand. He picks up a couple more strikeouts. We'll go to the top of the fourth inning, scoreless. STK, Ohio Bombers. Who's going to break this deadlock?
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with two of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Let's talk about a local one-stop shop. Live Well for Life is just that. A fitness, nutrition, and therapy facility all under one roof. Located at 3878 Wellington Street in Mitchell, Ontario, you can get so much done in just one visit. A full complement of staff on hand include chiropractic, massage, and personal training to get you back to your healthy self.
Brandon Parson looks at ball one here in the top of the fourth inning. Just the lone hit for STK. That was a leadoff single all the way back in the first inning. Eric Chaparro has piled up 8 strikeouts out of 9 outs recorded so far. Steve Normand only given up 2 hits. Been a lot of base runners for the Bombers, but they haven't been able to get a key hit off of Steve Normand. And that really is the story of the game, just scoreless right now. Parsons showed bunt and had the third baseman Heine crashing. Skips that one in about a 44.5 footer, and that's ball 4. So Eric Chaparro, just the second base runner of the game for STK, with the walk to Brandon Parsons, and not a particularly great opening to the fourth inning, it must be said, for Chaparro. Brett Larson to the plate, 3-batter for STK, looking down to Loyal Normand for all the signs. High hopper, that's going to get through. And that gets past the outfielder. Delmore Martin has it go through the wickets. STK is going to take advantage. Two-base error on the left fielder, Martin. And what a break for STK. You see the high hopper and then just gets past Delmar Martin, and around comes Brandon Parson, leadoff walk, scoring for STK, as they often do. My colleague Joe Todd will tell you that at least 2/3 of the time, leadoff walks will come around to score. So Chaparro with a long walk out behind the circle. Now back to the board. Ball one. Justin Potskin down looking in the first. So how quickly things change after a run of 8 straight strikeouts, a leadoff walk, a base hit, and a 2-base error brings in a run for STK, and Eric Chaparro has to deal with that runner over at third base still. So 2-1 on Potskin, and that one is fouled out of play on the left side. Just sticks the bat out, does Potskin, to bring home Larson. The changeup from Chaparro caught a little bit too much of the plate. Potskin just stuck the bat out, and that was enough to line it over the head of the first baseman, Elton Martin. And just like that, STK strings together a couple of hits, and they're now up 2-0. Eli Jules chases that one downstairs. Bunt attempt is fouled off. Goes after it, says home plate umpire Yuri Dostal. So Jules down on strikes. That's just the first out of the inning. 9th strikeout of the game for Chaparro, but he's wobbled a little bit here in the top of the 4th inning, and giving up the 2 runs. Albeit both of those, at least in my opinion, would be unearned. Bradbury chases that one out of the zone. Called strike, runs it to 1-2. And called strike 3, Bradbury. Second time today, can't get the bat off the shoulder down on strikes. And not too happy about that plate appearance as he makes his way back to the STK dugout down the right side. Alejandro Villalobos down on strikes in the second. Villalobos, Munoz, Juan Pepe, all from Argentina, making their way onto the STK roster this year as they've made a splash here in the ISC on the tournament circuit. Like I said, they played well in a couple of events out here in BC, made their way to Ontario, and won a couple of games that maybe they wouldn't have been the favorites in. Fouls that in and out of the glove of Trouba. Two balls, two strikes, two out. 2 runs on the board for STK here in the top of the 4th inning. That's a dead ball foul off. Looked like it went off the backside. And again, fouled off by Villalobos. Good battle here. Chaparro trying to limit the damage while STK looking to extend this inning. Benny Anthony on deck if it gets that far. Good block back there by Carlos Trouba. That was about a 43.5 footer from Chaparro. So full count. Potskin will be on the move. Change up, swing and a miss. Down goes Alejandro Villalobos. But STK score 2. Brandon Parsons, Brett Larson come around for the team from Northern BC. We'll go to the home half of the 4th. It's STK 2, the Ohio Bombers. No score.
Let's talk about a local one-stop shop. Live Well for Life is just that, a fitness, nutrition, and therapy facility all under one roof. Located at 3878 Wellington Street in Mitchell, Ontario, you can get so much done in just one visit. A full complement of staff on hand include chiropractic, massage, and personal training to get you back to your healthy self. Find them on the web at livewellforlifeinc.com or give
Live Well for Life, a proud sponsor
of the broadcast program.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with two of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Eric Chaparro, Delmar Martin, and Carlos Truba, 5-6-7 for the Ohio Bombers. Chaparro probably wants to hit a 3-run home run with nobody on here just to help redeem things from that tough top of the 4th inning, and you just see him rip after that offering from Steve Normand. Chaparro has racked up 11 strikeouts through 4 innings, but he's trailing 2-0. STK strings together a couple of hits, and they take advantage of an error to score 2 runs in the top half of the 4th. That's the difference in the game so far. And while the temptation might be to try and go get all of that back on one swing, some patience really is what's going to be needed here against Steve Normand. That one misses inside. Steve's thrown a lot of pitches. Now, he's a horse out there. Endurance is not the problem with Steve. Ohio just needs to take what he gives them, and if they can work a walk and a base hit, put a couple of things together. They've had the base runners, just need to get the key hit, but Eric Chaparro chases out of the zone for a strikeout, leading things off here in the home half of the 4th. The 5th of the game for Steve Normand. That one poured in for a strike on Delmar Martin. Stevenson Canadians are up 3-1 on Poucaste. And Richmond Rays still leading 8-4 over the Westside Jacks. Martin does Steve Normand a favor, chases way upstairs. And just off the outside corner. 1-2 to Delmar Martin, who the organizer for this Ohio Bombers squad. He put this team together 3 years ago. That one misses upstairs. Change up, and that is just foul down the right side. And Jared Bradbury, 1 hops. Eli Jules over there at first, and I'm sure Jules is like, listen, man, when they call it foul, don't throw a seed at me. And especially don't 1-hop me. So 2 balls, 2 strikes on Martin. Run it to full. And swings and a miss. Good rise ball from Steve Normand. He's going to come in almost all the way to the plate. Steve's very active out there. He's athletic. He stalks around in behind the mound, in front of the board at times. Very active. Always has been. In with the changeup and just misses on the inside corner to Carlos Truba, the catcher for the Ohio Bombers. And after a couple of rocky innings to start here, Normand has really settled down here in the third and fourth, looking for his second straight clean inning. Well, spoke too soon. Carlos Truba pokes that past a diving Brock Evans, and he's aboard with a base hit, and that breaks up that run that Steve Normand was on. So Loreno Martinez to the dish. Designated player for the Bombers, and tough at bat for Loreno, was down on strikes in the second inning. See if he has picked up anything. Pinch runner for Ohio. Well, that's Delmar Martin. That's the two-out catcher rule who's gone in. That one's right back up the middle. Martinez certainly picked up something from Steve Normand the first time around, as that's a much better at bat for the DP for Ohio. And up to second goes Delmar Martin. So the two-out catcher rule, if you're following along and wondering why are they doing that, they've never done that at the ISC before. Well, it's in place new for this year. So when you get to two out, you replace the catcher with the last available batter in the order. It's usually the guy who was the second out, but not always. So Delmar Martin running for Carlos Truba. Lucas Kubat had that bunt base hit back in the second inning. Upstairs from Normand. Martin's got a pretty healthy lead out there off of second base, and then he scampers back. That's lifted straight up in the infield, just in behind the bag at second base. It'll be Brock Evans. We'll pull that one down for the final out here in the fourth. The Bombers strand another two runners. They've had the opportunities, just can't push one across. Through four complete, it's STK 2. Ohio Bombers, no score.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Matiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field.
Benny Anthony, Brock Evans, 8-9, and then back to the top of the shot with Leo Munoz for STK with that 2-0 lead into the top of the 5th inning. Chaparro's only given up the 3 hits, and he's rung up 11 strikeouts, but a little bit of timely hitting and an untimely error, and that's the difference here in the game. 2 hopper out to Ender Chaparro. He'll take care of Benny Anthony. In for a strike from Chaparro. Joe Todd was just talking with a couple of the boys from the Walton Brewers. Will Schlotzhauer, 16 strikeouts for the Brewers in their maiden game here at the ISC World Tournament. They'll play Bear Creek tomorrow at 6 p.m. after the opening ceremonies on Diamond 2. We're looking to get some additional streaming set up on Diamond 2. We're working on that for tomorrow, so up against the screen there goes Jacob Heine, hard into the screen and the dugout. None the worse for wear, however. See him handing the ball off to Eric Chaparro. But just to complete that thought, we are looking to get some additional streaming, a single camera set up on Diamond 2 for tomorrow. We're working on that. And watch social media as down on strikes goes Brock Evans. Number 12 on the afternoon for Eric Chaparro. Watch social media and we'll let you know when we get that up and happening on Diamond 2. But in the meantime, here on the ISC network on Diamond number 1 at beautiful Softball City. In with the changeup. Can't get the call though. Keeps the hands back and able to punch that one right back up the middle. Good bit of hitting there by Leo Munoz, and he's 2 for 3 on the afternoon. So 2-out single for STK. That'll bring up Brandon Parsons. Brandon walked and scored back in the 4th. Off the glove to the screen and an easy 60 feet for Leo Munoz up into scoring position. And just the little things that make the difference. Overrunning a ball in the outfield, a wild pitch to the screen puts a runner in scoring position. These can be the things that make a difference in a World Tournament game. The difference between staying in the winner's bracket and dropping down into the loser's bracket. In for a strike. This Bombers team played at the U.S. Nationals last weekend. They were in Ashland, Ohio, of course, a couple of weeks earlier. play a good tournament schedule in and around the Midwest at Boys of Summer. Foul tip into the glove. Love to see them come up to Ontario and play in a couple of the Ontario events. It's not that far of a drive for some of them, but swing and a miss there as Chaparro picks up another 2, rank at 13, a baker's dozen. He needs some help from the bats. They're coming up. Bottom of the 5th. Early is getting late.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business.
Well, there you see the big video board that they've got out down the left field line here at Softball City. It is playing all the replays that Luciano Lafrano shows. So what you see at home on the replays, they're seeing here at the park as well. One of the many innovations that we've got going. That is put up by the host committee, but they were gracious enough to get us hooked into it. So Luciano Lafrano helping to run that video board and keep the fans here entertained as well as the players. So Calder Rogie enters Chaparro. George Harris is the top of the shop for the Ohio Bombers. Bottom of the 5th inning. You need to get going here if you're a Bombers fan. It's time for some offense. Three 3-0 to Calder Rogie. And in for a strike. Rogie 1 for 2, a leadoff single, and then a ground out, and it was a good play too to get Rogie on that ground out. Little meek swing at that changeup off the plate would have been better advised to let that one go, but make it a full count. And that one is laced out to the gap in left center. That's going to one-hop the wall. Rogie will easily pull into second base, take a turn, and then wisely retreat with a leadoff double by Calder Rogie. Ohio Bombers. Another base runner aboard and into scoring position for the team in red. They need to put a couple of these together and pick up some runs here. Haven't been able to do that against Steve Normand. He has bent, but he has not broken. They've had the chances. Like I said, the only clean inning that Steve Normand has had was the 3rd, where he got the ground out and a pair of strikeouts, but that has been it. We're going to play a little bit of kickball here with one of the new balls that's made its way out into play. Normand is not going to be happy with that selection. Now we'll scuff it up a little bit. Coming up on the 6 p.m. broadcast, it'll be the one and only Peter Labardius with Joe Todd, Georgian Bay Giants, and Grand Prairie Pirates. I'm glad I don't have that particular mouthful to contend with for the entire game. The multisyllabics. Ender Chaparro, 0 for 2, a fly ball and a ground out. This one's lifted up on the infield. Brock Evans comes down with that. And this has been the pattern. The Bombers get a couple of guys aboard. They get somebody into scoring position. Normand induces a fly ball, or he gets a ground out and gets out of it. George Harris. We'll see if he can change the pattern here for Ohio. Upstairs from Normand. That's well out of the zone, and Harris lays off of that. That hint of a breeze just picks up again. A little bit more than a hint just at this particular moment. Normand works in with the changeup for a strike. Three and one to George Harris. Big cut, but fouls it straight back to the screen. Normand up to 91 pitches here in the fifth. He has worked deep into a lot of counts. And ball 4 to George Harris. Only swung the bat once the entire AB. So the two runners aboard represent the tying runs opportunity for Ohio Bombers, and that will be it for Steve Normand after 93 pitches. Juan Pepe will be on in relief. We'll take a break, and we'll be back.
Sometimes people worry about asking for help because there can be a stigma around mental health problems.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
They might believe that asking for help means admitting that something's wrong.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Some people worry about how others might see them.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Asking for help means that you want to make changes and take the first steps towards better mental health.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
We should celebrate the courage it takes to speak up and make changes.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Getting help is part of recovery.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Mental health isn't something you need to keep to yourself. Talk to a friend. Trust your teammates. You're not alone.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
The first steps may be the toughest, but knowing where to look for help is a good start. Community mental health organizations like the Canadian Mental Health Association or Mental Health America offer resources and programs that can help you. Visit cmha.ca or mentalhealthamerica.net to find a branch in your community.
And remember,
Trust your teammate.
So Juan Jose Pepe on to face Jacob Heine. First pitch in and under the glove of Brett Larson, and an extra 60 feet go Harris and Rogie. So not a good start here for Juan Pepe. We saw Juan Jose at last year's U23 WBSC event with Argentina, and that's why he's here in the big leagues. He can throw it right by just about anybody. Some real good zip on that one. Where Juan Jose struggles a little bit will be with the control and the consistency in finding the strike zone. Called a strike at the top of the zone on Heine. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the cleanup hitter from Czechia. Just the one down in the inning. The infield for STK is in. And now Larson wants to have a conversation with Pepe. I wonder how that goes when they go out there to have that conversation. Is it broken Spanish or is it broken English? I wonder. Hopefully it's not broken telephone. So we'll reset. 2 balls, 2 strikes, just the one out. Called strike 3. Whatever Jacob Heine was looking for, that was not it. Down on strikes for the second time here this afternoon. It'll be up to Eric Chaparro to try and tie this game. Strike on the outside corner. Pepe finding the range. Those 2 runners represent the tying runs. This is Ohio's opportunity right here this inning to get right back into this. But again, Eric Chaparro has done that a couple of times here this afternoon. Has chased up and out of the zone. You heard one of the teammates say hitting strikes up there, and that is not one of them. See if they climb the ladder here a little higher, a little harder. Inside, strike 3 called. Chaparro can't get the bat off the shoulder. Juan Jose Pepe comes in and slams the door shut on the Ohio Bombers. Through 5 complete, STK, a 2-0 lead, will go to the top of the 6th. Can they add to it? Stay with us on the ISC Network.
He came from Australia with a superstar pedigree. And from his first ISC in 2003, you knew he was going to be something special. 6 times All-World, a 3-time ISC champion, and now the first Aussie inducted into the ISC Hall of Fame. From County Materials and the farm in Wisconsin, to Kitchener, to finding a home in the New York Gremlins colors. Congratulations, Jeff Goolagong, from all of us.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game, every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjack Sports. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca.
Top of the 6th inning for STK, it's Brett Larson. Chaparro will take a walk out in behind the board. Either didn't like the ball, didn't like the grip, didn't like the sign. Larson 1 for 2. Came around and scored as he fouls this one back to the screen. He hit the ball out to left, and then it skipped by the left fielder, Martin. That was the first run, and then Justin Potskin with an RBI single to score Larson. All that happened back in the top of the 4th. That's the 2-run differential for STK. They're making that stand up right now. Steve Normand goes 93 pitches, gives up 5 hits, but no runs. Juan Jose Pepe gets the last 2 outs in the 5th. And that one is lifted up and will go foul out of play. And there's a hard hit single off the bat of Brett Larson. He is 2 for 3 this afternoon. 2 singles. And they've got a deep enough lineup. I'm a little surprised that maybe we haven't seen a pinch runner for Brett. They'll get a free one at 2 outs, so you don't necessarily have to do that. Showed bunt, pulled it back, but got a strike for all the efforts there, Justin Potskin. Oh, 0-2 that quick on the cleanup batter for STK. Just looking at some of the other scores, Steveston Canadians now up 5-1 over the Poukaste Fastball team. Walton Brewers 3-0 winners earlier this afternoon, as this one is well hit, deep left field. One hops the fence. Larson is getting the wave at third, and now the stop sign goes out. Justin Potskin with a big booming double out to left center, and STK in business here again in the 6th. Tyson Susie is on here pinch hitting for Eli Jules. Fouls that one off at the plate. Soucy, the younger brother, I believe, of Carson Soucy, who plays for Seattle, Vancouver, here in the NHL. Vancouver Canucks. Our hockey encyclopedia is here. Oh, 0-2 on Tyson Soucy. And Carson Soucy, a very good fastball player in his day before he stuck with hockey full-time. And certainly wisely so. Big opportunity for STK to break this one open. Just misses off the outside corner. Little flare in the infield. They'll have a play down the right side. It's the catcher, Trouba, who comes up with it. They had to reach around the on-deck batter. That's a good play by Carlos Trouba to go get that and get a big out. So we'll reset. Jared Bradbury, twice caught looking. So he'll be looking for some atonement here. Good block by Trouba. They check and no, says Kevin DiDomenico. A lot of action going on with Bradbury at the plate. He's got the bat waggles, he's showing bunt, he's not showing bunt. Just me, but I'd like to see him a little bit stiller, a little bit quieter at the plate, and just be set. Looked a little better with that pitch there. A lot of hands up in the air for the Ohio Bombers, wondering where that pitch missed. 3-0 to Bradbury, and a good at-bat here so far for the Aussie. Strike on the outside corner. So 3-1 count to Bradbury. There you get a good look at Eric Chaparro. Bunt attempt. That's interesting. Ender Chaparro is way in at second base. 3-4 steps inside the line. And ball four, Eric Chaparro in some trouble here in the sixth. Bases loaded, sets up the force, but still, bases loaded for Alejandro Villalobos. Got him twice on strikes, but it's been a different game, really, since the fourth inning. It was all Eric Chaparro's way through 3 Second time around, it was a different story. Big cut there from Villalobos and comes up empty. Rogie is not only in tight, but he's only 4 steps, not even, from the bag at second base. There is a huge 5.5 hole. It may not matter, though, as this one is well hit. Center field, out near the track, makes the grab as the center fielder, George Harris. The run scores from third as Brett Larson comes in and make it 3-0. A long sac fly off the bat of Alejandro Villalobos. So 2 down in the inning, and another pinch hitter here for STK. Ethan Lands will step in and try and bring across a run. Justin Potskin still out at second base. Jared Bradbury's over at first. Lands looks at a strike from Chaparro. Lands in hitting for Benny Anthony. And just that quick in a hole, 0-2. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Ethan Lands down on strikes. STK push across another run here in the top of the 6th inning. They'll now take that 3-0 lead into the home half of the 6th. Early, definitely getting late for the Ohio Bombers.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs. Find us on the web at absolutebusinesssupply.ca and let us get it for you.
Delmar Martin, Carlos Truba, Loreno Martinez for the Ohio Bombers into the 6th inning. And just very quickly, very quietly, the Bombers down to their final 6 outs here as we're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Juan Jose Pepe comes out firing bullets here in the home half of the 6th. Pepe come on for starter Steve Normand with 1 out in the 5th. Rang up 2 quick strikeouts. Normand had 6 Ks through 4. And a beauty changeup from Juan Pepe in for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And when you throw as hard as this kid does and then can dial it back like that, you'll get a lot of people off balance. Blows this one right on by. Delmar Martin can't catch up with it. Pepe picks up his 3rd strikeout. Carlos Truba. Walk and a single. Has gotten as far as second base both times, but can't get past it. Just misses inside from Pepe. Big cut, comes up empty, just blows it right by Carlos Truba there. That one fouled back to the screen. Seeing some more teams come in for their early evening games. We've still got another couple of rounds, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock here for you at the opening day, day 1, 2024 ISC World Tournament. Again, fouled back to the screen by Carlos Truba. Coming up at 6 o'clock, the Georgian Bay Giants, the Grand Prairie Pirates. Peter Labardius, Joe Todd will have that one for you. Then Peter and I will have the nightcap with the Sydney Tropics and the Ostrander Norsemen. Fouled off again. Well, Truba is going to wear out Juan Pepe at this rate. He keeps fouling him off like that. Justin Potkin at short is shaded up towards the middle a little bit, and that's going to be a pretty good spot for him. He gathers it up and slings it over to first sidearm. Hasn't been much action on the infield, really, for the STK guys. A couple of groundouts over towards third base, but other than that, it's been strikeouts and fly balls. That one's punched into the screen down the left side by Martinez. Didn't look like he could figure out Normand in his first at-bat in the second, but by the fourth, he had punched a single through. So 1 for 2. Chases the rise ball up and out of the zone. 76 miles an hour from Juan Pepe. And can't catch up to that one either. Pepe picks up 2 more strikeouts here in the 6th. STK coming to the plate in the top of the 7th, looking to build on this 3-0 lead.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at the Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill in the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at deankane16@gmail.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner, offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs.
Brock Evans will look to lead things off here in the top of the 7th inning for the STK. Strikeout looking, strikeout swinging for young Mr. Evans this afternoon. Hasn't had much luck against Eric Chaparro. Chaparro 14 strikeouts through 6 innings, but on the short end right now of a 3-0 score, there's a changeup that just misses off the plate. So 1 ball, 1 strike to the 9-batter, Brock Evans. Oh, Steveston Canadians, big 11-1 lead right now for that team from Vancouver suburb of Steveston. Little seaside town, some great seafood restaurants in Steveston if you're ever in the neighborhood. And a final, Richmond Rays win a snowball fight with the West Side Jacks, 11-7. Richmond winners in that one. Evans down for the 3rd time today on strikes. Up to the top of the shop, Alejo Munoz. Alejo is 2 for 3. Single in the 1st, ground out in the 3rd, and a single in the 5th. We'll see how this pattern continues. We saw Alejo playing second base for STK back in Simcoe and came out of the game with an injury, got hit in the hand and had to come out of the game, but fouls this one off a foot, and he's feeling that one too. He's got the ankle guard on and still got a bite out of him. Skipped in for ball 2. And ball 4 to Alejo Munoz, so he reaches base for the 3rd time here this afternoon. Brandon Parsons walked, scored in the 4th. And now we're going to get a meeting of the umpires here. Lyle Normand came down and talked to the home plate umpire after the at-bat. No idea what this conversation is about, to be honest. Well, now he was pointing over at Munoz at first base for something, but don't know, folks, what that conversation was about. Ultimately, we've got a pinch runner coming on for Munoz. So that's number 22, Keegan Pittendry. So just giving Munoz a bit of a break. Pittendry runs very well, youngster out there. And just misses to Brandon Parsons. And that one is laced up the middle, coming across, trying to cut that off. Here's the throw to third. Pittendry is in standing up, and a double for Brandon Parsons. Good job by center fielder George Harris to get over there and cut it off before it got to the fence. But a booming stand-up double there for Brandon Parsons. So STK in business here in the top of the 7th inning. Brett Larson is 2 for 3, couple of singles in his last couple of at-bats, 2 runs scored, and opportunity to maybe put this one out of reach for STK if you can bring across one or more of these runs. If you're wondering about pitching help for the Ohio Bombers, Heine throws, but he's occupying third base. I haven't seen anybody throwing up in between innings or throwing out during innings. Let's put it more kindly than throwing up. But a meeting on the mound here right now. Trouba and the 2 Chaparros. So they want to do the intentional walk here for Brett Larson, but you heard Yuri Dostel tell him you've got to throw the 4 pitches, and that's absolutely right. That is the rule here in the ISC. You can't just wave the runner down. You have to throw 4 pitches, so I guess we're not going to intentionally walk Brett Larson after all. So an interesting pitching matchup in this upcoming game. Riley Mannion for Grand Prairie, who has been hurt most of the season with a shoulder injury. And there's a story to tell as to how he got to Grand Prairie. And we'll let Joe Todd and Peter Labardius talk about that one. And Yuya Yamawaki, another Japan player making his ISC World Tournament debut for the Georgian Bay Giants. One ball, 2 strikes. Bombers looking for a strike call in the inside corner. Now 2-2. So make it 3-2. Sorry about that, Luciano. And changeup called. Strike 3. Brett Larson saying that one was high, but Yuri Dostel says no, it was there. So another 2 strikeouts for Eric Chaparro here in the top of the 7th, but still some work to do with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Justin Potskin. He's 2 for 3. Swings over that drop from Chaparro and evens the count, 1-1. Carlos Trouba trying to sell strike 3 there. Just didn't quite get Yuri Dostel to buy it. Well, that's a little bleeder foul on the left side. Calder Rogie is very deep at shortstop. He's almost got his heels on the grass. And they just can't sell that strike down at the bottom of the zone. 3-2 to Justin Potskin. And that's chopped foul. The breeze just continues to blow out, not hard, but just to blow out to left, or to left to right. Ball 4 to Potskin. So we will load the bases. Tyson Susie has stayed in the game over at first for Eli Jules. So he'll get another crack here at Eric Chaparro. Tyson came on as a pinch hitter last inning in the 6th. Popped up to the catcher, Trouba, in foul territory. Chopper on the infield. Rogie's got to come get it. Good strong throw over to first, and the Bombers get out of that bases loaded situation. Last call for Ohio. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning. They need 3 to tie, 4 to win.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Well, the dust-up guys, you'll see Jason Hill here this week with the Bear Creek Express, but you can hear them on those sporadic debrief sessions that they're now doing. And what a great thing that is. Bringing guys like Bradley Ezekiel, this one is lifted up to center, backpedaling. Wow, he had to go back a lot further than I think any of us thought he was going to have to go. Brandon Parsons reels that one in back near the fence. You get it up into the jet stream, boy, it's going to carry. We saw that in the previous game. Keito Mizaki got one up into the jet stream and it carried out of here. That was Lucas Kubat who gave it a ride. Calder Rogie looks at a strike. Two balls, two strikes to Calder Rogie. This one misses inside from Juan Pepe. Had some juice on it. 3-2. Pepe on in relief of Steve Normand. Normand went 4 1/3. Comes up empty, chases the rise ball up and out of the zone. That is strikeout number 5 for Pepe. Ender Chaparro, the last hope here for the Ohio Bombers. Just misses with the changeup, brings that one down to 56 miles an hour. This one is laced out to center left, diving, can't come up with it. Parsons watches it go to the fence. Rogie pulls into second and keeps the Bombers' hopes alive with a double out to left center. Past a diving Brandon Parsons. Gave it a shot, but just eludes the glove, and backing him up is Villalobos. So George Harris will try to keep the string moving for the Ohio Bombers. Harris 0 for 1 with a pair of walks, and can't catch up to that big rise ball from Pepe. Fouls this one straight back to the screen. Now the Bombers are down to their final strike. And he just misses upstairs. Make it 1-2. And again to the screen. Harris just can't quite time this one up from Pepe. Swing and a miss. Harris down on strikes. Juan Pepe comes on in relief and does a terrific job for the STK squad. Picks up 6 strikeouts in 2 2/3 innings of relief. Steve Normand will get the win. STK, 3-0 winners over the Ohio Bombers. They'll move on in winners bracket action. The Bombers will drop down into the losers bracket. We're going to have about a 20-minute break here before we see the Georgian Bay Giants coming up against the Grand Prairie Pirates. Peter Labardius, Joe Todd will bring you all the action on the ISC network, and then we'll be back for the nightcap. Sydney Tropics and Ostrander Norseman. 2 more to come still. Stay with us here on day 1 of the ISC World Tournament.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas.
Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more.
The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. SoftballPremierTV.com.
Live it on Softball Premier.